Welcome to the JG Podcast. Hello and thanks for joining the podcast. On today's podcast, we have Johnnie Goolsby. She's a professional author, speaker, and singer. And she's now embarking on a new project as a film director for her first upcoming film, Unshakeable, the Seige. The trailer can be found on the web at www.jmgfe.com. Johnnie, welcome to the call.
Thank you, John. I'm so happy to be here again.
So, Johnnie, since the last time we've spoke, I know you were working on this new film project and so forth. So what I'd like to ask you to do is to give the audience an update on the film, more or less an overview of the film, and let us know how things are going.
Okay, thanks. This film project we said is called Unshakeable, the Seige, and the plot of the film is a young girl that grows up to become an adult, and all through that time she's looking for her purpose in life. All along the way she meets up with 6 fellows, and they come together to fight a diabolical madman that's trying to exterminate, but trying to get rid of all the Christians on the planet. That's the plot of the story.
Okay, so, Johnnie, if I'm not mistaken, when I spoke to you earlier, it sounded as if you were in Los Angeles currently, and correct me if I'm wrong. So, with that being said, where's the movie actually being filmed? And how large a cast do you have for this movie?
Okay. So right now we're just shooting film trailers, and we're using those trailers to put on the website and also on YouTube so that we can get our audience familiar with the characters and familiar with the storyline, so that when we get ready to bring the film out, they're familiar with the characters before they see the film. So we're currently shooting in 2 states. We're shooting in Los Angeles area, LA County area, and we're also shooting in Georgia, in the middle Georgia area. We have a cast now, probably about 25 people, 30 people, all together from both states combined. And we're always looking for new extras that come in and join us.
So with this being, kind of your first shot as a film director, what are you finding challenging about, putting together a film, not just with the actual script, but the cast, the travel, the time, and so forth? Is this kind of what you expected?
Well, I have a mentor that has been teaching me all along the way the filmmaking process and some of the things I would encounter. So I would think, probably the biggest challenge is getting our extras together, on the set at the same time. Some of them work jobs, of course, and their jobs limit them to how much they can shoot. We also have challenges with people that have families. Sometimes they can come in and shoot on certain days too. So like even currently right now, we're getting ready to shoot next week, and we have some extras that have to work that week. So we have to kind of coordinate where we can get our scene shot, where we get everybody in, that can't come on the particular day that we do our major shooting.
Okay, so so from an audience perspective, and there's tons and tons of movies that are out there, right? Whether it's on Netflix, whether you go to the actual movies, whether you're watching, Amazon movie, and now with Apple coming out with their new movie channel beginning in November. Why would the audience, what would compel them to want to go and see this movie?
Okay. I think the biggest draw for this film, we were sharing this weekend. We had an actual comic book and film festival in Whittier, California this weekend. And we had a panel and we kind of discussed, what's the biggest part that would draw people to this film? And I would say that the biggest part is that it's about everyday life. People living their lives every day, facing challenges in their life. People maybe that someone has lost a loved one, doesn't know why they lost a loved one. Someone that may have had a child that's wayward out in the street, they can't find them. Someone that's, maybe they worked a job for 35 years and they lost a job. It could be a myriad of experiences that people go through, and they're Christian believers, and they go like, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I go to church every Sunday. I pay my offerings. I treat my family right. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. but yet this trouble came to my life. What happened? What did I do wrong? And so I would say the biggest draw of this film is that it's going to bring people to the saving grace of Jesus Christ, that they can still find that love in the midst of the storms of what they go through in everyday life.
Okay, then also, Johnnie, as we talked about in our previous call, Unshakeable the Seige is part of a novel, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And with that being said, I understand that there is Unshakeable the Seige that is almost finished. And when will that be available, and where can the audience go and purchase Unshakeable the Seige, the actual novel?
That novel will be available on November the 1st, 2019. And I encourage everyone to get this book because it's really going to be a blessing to you. You will find so many places in there of excitement. You'll find places where your emotions will be opened up and bare. But it's a good place. It's a good place because you'll find things about your own life. Maybe some trials and tribulations that you face. Through these characters, you can find yourself. And so I encourage everyone to go out and get this book. And there's an accompanying book that goes with it that's called Unshakeable the Seige, Meet the Characters. And I encourage you to get that book as well, so you can go more in depth with the characters and where they came from and why they matter, and so that's going to help you as well too.
Okay, so once again, Johnnie, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. I would certainly encourage the audience to stay tuned to upcoming events in regards to the trailers, and you can find merchandise in regards to the film. Once again, at www.jmgfe.com. Johnnie, thanks again for being on the show. It was certainly a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Johnnie. It was such a pleasure.
Okay, guys, that is it for today, and we'll talk to you on the next podcast.